Oh no! It's morning!
And that means it's time for the Rotten Mornings Podcast! Best way to start your morning off.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to another episode of Rotten Mornings. I'm Scott.
I'm Matt.
I'm Graham.
And Brandy's here too. She's just getting her coffee ready.
Uh-huh. Well, I'll believe that when I hear it.
Well, you can't hear us getting coffee ready.
See, that's
Brandy, blink twice if you're still with us. All right. Well, we've got a lot to get into today, so let's go ahead and get started.
We're going to get started? When?
We're going to go ahead and get started right now.
Oh, now?
Hmm.
Oh, my God. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I know. So we're only doing that for you. So, Graham, you want to start us off?
Yes. Here I go. I'm going. I'm going to do it. It's time. Tell me when.
I feel like I'm watching someone jump off of a diving board for the first time. Anytime now,
I've
buddy.
never done this before, Scott. Don't make fun of me.
Come on, champ. You got this.
I know. Just give me a few seconds. I'm scared.
No, you're fine, Tiger. Come on in there.
Rawr.
Okay.
Rawr.
That's not. Okay. This is going well.
It is going so well. I'm so proud of us, Scott. We're doing a thing, and it's success.
Success.
It's full of all of the success. You did that, Scott. I'm proud.
I'll tell you what I'm not proud of. I'm in a different state, in a different time zone, and I've woken up 48 times thinking that I'm going to miss this podcast.
I miss you too, Scott.
Wait, what?
Yes.
All right.
Yay, we're doing it.
You were at a hunt last night?
I am. I was.
Oh my God. Did you guys have a good night out there last night?
It was such a good night. DCC was there too, and there was a pretty big crowd. I'm very proud. And the food was good. There was even funnel cakes.
Man. Hell yeah.
And there was so many people, and everybody did so fucking well. Like, I'm proud of Hellbillies. They have come through yet again, doing an amazing job.
Hell yeah. So, Grim was out, of course, her home haunt at Hellbilly Hollow in Vincent, Alabama. If you guys have not checked out that haunt, now's the time.
Yes, come check us out. We want to have you. We're not saying food-wise, but we want to have you there.
Why did you put that disclaimer in there?
I wouldn't eat them, Scott. Don't accuse me of such.
I didn't accuse. I just got nervous.
Okay, I believe you.
And I got to catch part of your live. It was super loud where I was at, but I got to catch part of it, and I really love that you're doing those and showing a little of the behind the scenes and people getting to see a part of Hellbilly that people that you wouldn't want to get to see.
Did you enjoy seeing the behind-the-scenes stupidity? We act very stupid before haunt, and then we continue that for the rest of our lives. That's stupidity, that is.
I think it's a plan.
It was fun.
And Matt and Brandy were at the sanitarium last night?
Yes, they were, and I will let them tell you about that as soon as possible.
Okay.
Yes,
well,
I think they're out there watching a squirrel right now jump around.
Okay, well that's productive. Good.
It's productive.
Squirrel.
Yes, you must support all of the animals in your area, especially like these animals. They're always supportive of us, and they leave us little treats and stuff out in the yard, and they're just really nice.
I didn't get to see any animals last night, but I did get to see one of the haunts that I enjoy going out to when I get a chance to. Went out to Netherworld in Atlanta last night.
Ooh, Ooh, I noticed you did a live, but I have not been able to watch it yet, and I've been excited to see that live.
It was a very short live. We had a lot of lives last night. Yours, and then Matt and Brandy's, and then I did a short one, and then Matt
Quite
and
a great
Brandy's.
many of lives, and I am
So many
excited to
lives.
say so.
Yeah. So it was my daughter's first time at Netherworld.
Oh
And,
my God! How did she
and,
like it?
actually, it was their first time at any haunt.
Oh my! I'm so happy to hear that, though. I'm glad you took them. How
Yeah.
fun!
But as is always with Netherworld, absolutely beautiful. Run through a nightmare, and then you're out. The only thing that I didn't get to do last night was the House of Creeps Museum was under construction. Oh no, I'm sorry, not under construction. It was they were having a media event there last night, and we didn't get to do that. But other than that, fantastic.
Was that what they used to have as the area outside of the thing that was sort of the gift shop, but now it's over where the escape rooms are?
The House of Creeps is the museum.
And that's over there, like when you had to walk back to the little area, there's that side door.
Yeah.
I think we saw that when we were there, but we didn't get to go through that shit either.
Oh man. Rooms, but I love going to the museum because you can take all the pictures of all the good stuff and really good lighting. And we just didn't get to do it, but we did get to see both haunts. The second haunt, which was is it like insect based? I wish I.
Oh, and insect base.
Oh, I love insects.
It was. I mean, I don't know what the story is to that thing. I always feel like the secondary haunt is always just like, here's the second haunt, and it was more like techno, but like techno infection or something. But there was a really cool prop I had never seen before, and it's like a body covered in mushrooms.
I'm obsessed with mushrooms, and I would love to see that. Holy shit! Oh!
I didn't see
bugs and mushrooms in the same place.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? I would have.
So, and then the main haunt also was a lot of the stuff that I had seen before, but man, there's just so much stuff in that haunt. You're like, I don't know what's going on.
No shit.
Brain cannot process so much stuff.
I think Netherworld is like Nightmare Acid Trip.
I think somebody went in there and said, hey, how many of these props can we literally stack on top of each other without everything crumbling to the ground?
Hey, it fucking worked. It worked.
I would almost prefer it to be broken up like Halloween Horror Nights into themed like 5.
Yeah.
But I say that, do not think I am disparaging Netherworld. It was absolutely amazing, as it always is, and definitely, if you've never been there, one of our favorite museum haunts.
Hell yes.
So tell us, dear friend, about Insanitarium, because
how were crowds that night? And was that opening night for them?
It wasn't. I think they opened the night before. No, I think they've been open a couple weekends.
Oh, okay.
But the crowds were good. We were way early. we did everything within the first hour, so we got there like a little before 7. We had the speed pass, timed entry, and that let us get in and out. We were out within like an hour.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
No, it was
what were the prices for speed pass and everything all together?
So the speed pass total was only $60 a person.
That's good. That is a good price.
I think so, because it's like timed entry, speed pass, and it's 60. And the regular tickets are all timed entry now, and they were 35. So for 15 extra bucks, it's worth it to me. And then, yeah, they had a couple of new looked like a couple of new photo ops, but I wasn't there last year, so I wasn't sure what's changed in the photo ops since last year. But, you know, that's always a big pull for people who want to have some cool memorabilia.
Hell yeah.
Memorabilia. Woo.
But I want to hear about this Insanitarium because I saw a really big hype video of it, and I was like, what? Because last time I was at Insanitarium, it was a dark carnival.
Yes, indeed. There's like a little bit of a click in your phone.
Not sure what that is.
It's not super big. It's just like a weird little kind of glitchy thing that every once in a while clicks.
Yeah, I think I'm hearing a little bit of that. Do we need to restart?
Yeah. Why don't we take a commercial break? We'll come back with a sanitarium.
Okay, 10-4. I don't know how to do that button yet.
Press button.
Working on buttons.
Press button. Insert finger.
Do you want to see Rotten Reviews live? Come out tonight to Nightmare at 3008 Haunters Night in Fultondale, Alabama. We'll see you there.
Coming this October, as night falls on a quarantined prison somewhere in Vincent, Alabama, vampires have taken over at Hellbilly Hollow, and things will never be the same.
Come visit Hellbilly Hollow in Vincent, Alabama. You'll have the best night of your life.
Yes, we'd love to have you in our neck of the woods.
The wait is driving us batty.
This year, we've raised the stakes. Join us.
Join us. One of Alabama's top-rated haunts. This is the one for you.
Hellbilly Hollow Haunted House Attraction in Vincent, Alabama. Open at 7 p.m. every Friday and Saturday in October.
Tickets available at the door.
Exclusive merchandise. Tasty concessions. Live entertainment.
Well-lit bathrooms.
For more information, check us out on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and at hellbillyhollow.com. And we will see you there.
Join us.
And we're back.
Wow.
So,
Big explosion.
tell us about Insanitarium.
And Sanitarium was phenomenal.
Love those guys.
Man, as we talked about yesterday, that was one of the sort of the first haunts around here that we haven't seen anything. We haven't been inside. We haven't seen behind the scenes. We haven't walked through it since they rebuilt it. So
not
we were
because
stoked.
they wouldn't let us, but because we wanted to be surprised, and it was absolutely amazing.
Hell yeah.
So we got out there a little bit early. I think. When did we get there?
At 4:45, I believe.
And we were walking around, watching everybody scurry about, grabbing stuff, and putting a generator upstairs, and watching Joseph try to like slag this generator up the clock tower, and we're running around like just asking everybody, is there anything we can do to help? And of course, like every time we go to a haunt, I don't want to like make them, it can't be a big deal about, hey, what can we do to help you? Because then we're just adding to their workload. But I don't know. It's just like, there's so much stuff going on at the same time. They're like little ants running around building, hills. Sorry, my brain is kind of fried. Welcome to Morning Times.
Kind of.
So we chatted with them for a little bit, and then we went back to their parking area so that everybody else that was pulling in trying to figure out what was going on knew that they did not open until 7 and they had to wait.
Hell yeah.
Build up that anticipation.
It's funny because we went from being in downtown Birmingham directing traffic in the middle of the road with zero sleep to being in the parking lot of a sanitarium, sort of doing the same thing.
With little to no sleep.
Oh yeah, that's right. You guys had ContraFest. Did you guys get to see anything at ContraFest, or did you just help out a little bit with them?
We just helped out. Like, we were so damn tired, dude. We did not have time to go.
We helped set up from about 5:45 to 7, and then they didn't have somebody to stand at a particular gate, so we did that from 7 until about 9:40 when security finally showed up to take over for us, and then we had to hunt through the crowd to find Mambo Baptiste so we could tell her, we need to go nap now. Have fun.
Honestly, like, we set these barricades up. They let me drive around the gator thing.
And I became a quick expert at setting up tents that I've never done before. And
when we first got there, they were like, does anybody know how to drive a gator? And I was like, fucking, I want to drive a gator. I was like, yeah, I know how to do it. So I get in and I'm like, how do you start this thing? And the guy's like, oh, you do this and that. And luckily, they didn't catch on that I had no idea what I was doing.
But they might know now.
Yeah, but I did the hell out of it, so that's a thing.
And so I went with some other people to start unloading a U-Haul that they had been having to use for storage because they had run out of room for all of the stuff that was needed for ContraFest. And we had to unload a whole lot of stuff just to get to the tents that we needed to start setting up in the middle of the street before the barricades were up.
Wow.
And yes, we were setting up tents in the middle of the street.
Oh my!
And it's crazy, man. Everybody was in tents.
You could have been hit.
They were
Why
very
weren't you
intense.
hit?
Oh no! The whole time we're doing this, and we're walking from one end of the street to the next street over, and like setting up all this stuff and propping up these tents. Like, it was cold. It was still dark. I had my sweater on. And by the time I was done with the first tent, because to begin with, I had to figure out how to set it up by myself to begin with. I did get some help. But by the time I was done with that, I was like, fuck this sweater. Why did I drag this thing out here? I'm sweating. It's still dark.
And when we finished and got all the barricades set up,
Matt keeps zipping back and forth past us with this gator. It's like he's at one end of the street, then he's on the next street, just back and forth, back and forth. It was crazy.
They gave us some like banners to hang up on the barricades, and we went over there to hang those banners up. Next thing we know, they're like, "Hey, somebody's gonna need to stay at this barricade and kind of make sure nobody comes through here." And I was like, oh, that sounds perfect. We can stay in one spot and not be confused, aside from not knowing what we're actually supposed to tell people. And I was like, yeah, we'll take that job. And honestly, I'm glad we did, because we were able to go live and we're able to watch so many people in Birmingham get pissed off at us for not letting them go down the road.
Well, we were also worried because they had told us earlier before nobody knew we were going to be put at one of these barricades, but they had told us earlier that there was only one copy of the permit and it needed to stay at the store. So if the police showed up asking for our permit, they might arrest us, because we would be like, well, it's back that way, but we're not allowed to let you in.
Yep.
Perfect job.
Well, that sounds awesome. I'm glad.
But luckily that didn't happen.
Yeah, glad you guys got to do that. That was a pretty cool live, way but early in the morning. And
yeah, and we were super delirious.
Yeah, and then we got the we had Grimm's live, which was awesome. We talked about that. Rotten Strips came out yesterday, so that was a big thing.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
If you guys haven't checked that out, that is our third season of Rotten Strips. It is out and available. And there should be another episode of that tonight.
Yes, there should be.
Yeah.
We briefly saw a live from you as well, but when we tried to tune into it, it was gone already.
That's how I like to do it. Get in, get out. Attract zero viewers. Hell yeah, guys. Well, yesterday was a big day, and it is going to be just keep rolling.
But let me go back and talk a little bit more about Insanitarium now that we're up to that point.
Yeah, we kind of distracted ourselves with Conjurefest that we didn't stick around for.
So Insanitarium was
amazing.
What they've been able to do in
such
a
a
very
short time.
amount of time blew our minds.
It really
dude.
did. The details are just awesome. And we don't want to give anything away, but you've got to get out to Insanitarium.
But you know, when we get out there, everybody's like, "Oh, it's back on! It's back on! We're gonna kick your ass!" And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And yeah,
they didn't lie.
Every corner I came around, somebody was kicking my ass.
Yes, and okay, so we several folks showed up to go through with us. So we had one of the largest groups go through when it was all said and done, and everybody behind us was just laughing so hysterically because every corner we went around, somebody's grabbing Matt. Somebody's grabbing Matt and throwing him on the ground. Somebody's grabbing Matt and throwing him over their shoulder. Somebody's grabbing Matt and throwing him into a wall. It was hilarious.
Randy, don't let him knock us on too much. You gotta save him some.
Hey, we had been warned in the parking lot that this was going to happen. And I tried to protect him, and he was like, "No, I'm here for it." I was like, "All right, then you're on your own."
There was one point where I get thrown on a gurney, and the guy starts chapping me down, and Brandy's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" And I was like, "Brandy, when we came in with 11 people, and I said, I hope we leave with 10. This is what I wanted. Let me die."
So I said, "Okay then," and started leading the group past him, and apparently they took pity on him because of my callousness and let him go.
And threw me on the ground.
Hell yeah.
But it really was. I was so impressed. And it's not like I didn't know I would be impressed, but they still completely blew my mind. It was amazing and wonderful, and I cannot say enough. Go to Insanitarium.
Yes.
Yeah, and out there we had you're gonna have to help me with names.
So we had Raymond and Kendra with us.
Raymond and Kendra, who have recently started doing articles for Scurry Face.
We had James Wyatt and Stephanie.
And James Wyatt used to be a part of the Haunt Crew reviews, but they've disbanded that, and now he is going to be working a lot more with us and doing reviews of haunts that we can't get to because he's on the other side of town.
We had Crystal from the Trustville Tribune and her man, Matt.
And a couple of their friends. And it was cool because the Trustville Tribune came out to do an interview and with Justin and kind of get an article up. And it turns out that the young lady that was from the Trustville Tribune actually wrote the first article when Insanitarium first opened in Pinson.
Oh, yeah. That's badass.
So, yeah, it was super fun. We cannot suggest the Insanitarium enough. They are fucking killing it.
Right now, Tim from Hellbilly Hollow is bitching at me. He's like, "Why aren't you asleep, Grim?" I told him we're doing podcast. He said, "Horse shit, go to sleep."
Well, he's not wrong.
Yes, he is not wrong. This podcast is horseshit.
Yeah. Well, we thank you, loyal listeners, for continuing to tune in. Cool. Well, anything else we need to mention in the news before we jump into our next section? Guys, go to Rotten Reviews Facebook. Scroll through there. Check out some of the recordings of the lives. Definitely check out Rotten Strips episode 1, and listen to this podcast.
I wanted to tell you one more thing. I completely forgot. Crystal at Hellbilly Hollow dressed up as a hobo out there, a hellbilly hobo, and she ate different food out of the trash can. She had like nachos and different things. It was pretty funny.
That's awesome.
Yes. Way to go, Crystal.
I never seen her do anything like that. That's really fun to see.
She was committed.
It's so neat to see stuff like that too. Like I was just thinking about how in Sanitarium, this was a haunt in a school, and now their like cuffs are off. They have no one to be accountable to. They could do they can truly be insane, and
I'll tell you, the thing about Insanitarium that really stands out to me is like all those cats out there know who we are. We've talked to them multiple times, interacted with them. Not one fucking character, not one ever broke character around us.
Oh, wow.
I love that.
Love that. Hell yeah. All right, guys. We're going to take a quick little commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about the Wendigo.
Oh, Wendigo.
Okay, so give us a quick break. We'll be right back. I don't know where the button.
Don't go that way, man. You know who's back there? It's that serial killer from that movie.
What? Why are they here? I thought they were supposed to be chasing the kids at summer camp or invading the nightmares of the kids on that one street.
Well, they're all here. Brought in to fight off the mutant chickens, and now it's a horror free-for-all.
Oh. Where do I buy tickets?
The Haunted Chicken House in Heflin is the largest tourist attraction in East Alabama.
Open every weekend in October. Tickets are $15 per attraction. 2 for $25 and 3 for $40.
Ride the hayride of horrors.
Visit the Haunted Chicken House.
Defy death in the infamous Crazy Train.
For more information, check us out on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and thehauntedchickenhouse.com. And we'll see you there.
Right, okay. I didn't know what you were talking about. Yeah.
Hey guys, we're back.
Oh, we're back. Oh shit, this phone's on. Who did that?
Hello.
Oh, God.
Welcome to join us.
Jesus, what?
You're sitting here talking about number.
Yeah, numbers. Woo!
Y'all were talking about numbers?
Numbers.
I said number, just one.
Oh. Yeah, that's how many viewers we have.
Just one.
Yeah, I said numbers plus S. That is 5.
Numbers plus S. Numbers is...
I don't think it's true anymore that I'm the only listener.
That's true.
Brandy we have people that tell us they listen.
Yeah, Brandy stopped listening.
That's actually a true story. So yeah.
Well, we want to talk about we realized over the commercial break that he's like, hey, here's a topic you guys have never done before. Y'all do this one. And I was like, oh, that sounds awesome. And then I, doing my due diligence, just realized we've done it before.
You're a piece of shit.
Yeah, it is the notorious Winnebago.
Yes, the Wampus can't wait. What did you say?
No.
Did he just say Winnebago? I didn't look that up.
I fucking love bagels.
I was, God damn it, I was just about to make that joke. I want to win a bagel. Okay, guys, so today's competition is win a bagel.
Yeah.
Well, Grim and I have decided we'd rather talk about breakfast, so we're going to go do that.
Oh.
Avocado.
That's fine. We can do breakfast.
All right, I'd like to ask a question of the audience, and you guys can just raise your hand, and I'll pick you at random.
No, you can't buy a vowel.
Can anybody describe to me the least breakfast food you could possibly mention at any point in time in history or space? Yes, you in the back. Is it avocado toast? Yes, that's correct. That is the least breakfast thing in the fucking world.
That you are absolutely wrong on that. I would say broccoli all day.
Well, I didn't pick you, so sit down, sir.
And Debbie cakes.
What?
The most mentioned breakfast food in the world. Would that be bacon?
Yes, bacon.
Probably fucking Cheerios.
Let's go fucking Cheerios, sure.
We're not fucking Cheerios. Oh my God!
The weirdest breakfast food is fucking Cheerios.
I don't want this.
Or Winnebagos.
Now, you guys are probably wondering, what are the Rotten crew talking about all this eating? Well, it all ties into the Wendigo, who is notorious for having a desire for eating?
That's not. I didn't see that in any of my research.
Eating flesh.
They want to eat avocado toast. A lot of people don't realize this.
Oh, Scott, that's not funny, Matt. Shut up.
Once you eat of the flesh of the avocado, you gain its spirit.
Randy, please, idiot.
All of the memories of the avocado are now inside of me. I've got the avocado strength. I have a hard outer shell and a green mushy middle.
I can relate because I too have a great pit of worthlessness in my insides.
Wendigo!
Well, it is actually kind of funny that you say that, because the Wendigo was actually known by a few different names. Wendigo, Witigo, Witiko, and Wheatigo might be a relative of Scott here. I'm not sure. But each of them roughly translates to the evil spirit that devours mankind.
There's a couple other names.
So it is about
here. They've also referred to him as the avocado toasto.
No. Stop. Also, another word for the Wendigo is the Manaha.
Oh.
Yes.
Wait, are you trying to say Manamana?
Manamana. I'm getting pissed.
Phenomena.
I don't like it.
Phenomena.
I'm leaving.
Hey, where'd that Wendigo go?
I will rip your nipple off.
It's a week to go.
So we are, guys, we need to take this seriously. We are talking about the Where Grim Go, and
it's the Grimmy Grim Go.
No.
God, I know the Wendigo is really close to your heart because of like what Brandy's saying here.
A week ago,
you're Scott a wee, and I was thinking that a wee was short for a Wendigo.
It is. It is. It is actually short one Wendigo, so I don't have one. We've covered this topic before. There's a lot of really great films out there that deal with the Wendigo, and of those, probably Ravenous is going to be one of my favorite films that covers this.
I agree. I believe we talked about that in the last episode also, but Ravenous is a well put together depiction of what Wendigo is.
Yeah, so and there's so many different aspects that you can look at the Wendigo and different ways that you can approach it. There is like the skinned deer head, antlered, like tall demon. There is Wendigo that are more, or like Wendigo stories that make it more like Sasquatch or Yeti-like. But then, I'm sorry.
There's something that I thought about when it comes to movies about Wendigos. There was just recently this year a phenomenal movie about the Wendigo. I can't remember what the name of it was, but it's honestly, the idea of it and the setting of it was honestly a little bit better than the idea of Ravenous.
Well, I mean, that doesn't give us a lot of information.
I can't remember what the name of it was, but it had
well, I mean, like, hopefully you'll think of it soon, but Ravenous is like I said, there's so many different ways to approach this idea or think about this idea, and that would be another one. I would be really excited to see someone else take that idea and run with it and do something really fun with it.
And when they finally show the Wendigo, it is literally the ripped apart half deer, half chunky meat, dude. It was intense, dude. I wish I could remember the name of this fucking film.
It looked almost nothing like avocado toast.
Yes, correct.
Oh my fucking God.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
But the movie itself was sold in the trailers. It was like a kid that was going to school, and he had a locked door in his house where he would like open the door and feed it meat.
Oh, kind of a fucked up Harry and the Hendersons.
Yes. because
Okay,
it was
guys.
like,
Well, look, we're not going to tell you what the title of this film is. Because we don't know, but we will know. But we're going to put this post in community, and if you know what the title of this film is, the first person who can name it correctly will give a shout out on tomorrow's episode.
Ta-da!
Yay!
And that's how you win a bagel.
But again, that's
What
if
the
we
fuck?
remember that we said we would do this.
it was called Antlers.
Oh, never mind. We're not going to do that at all.
I ruined it. I get an avocado toast.
You got a
Ew.
bagel.
You would not eat it.
Did you see the movie Antlers?
I didn't. Was that Joe Hill?
I don't is that the guy that kind of looks like the fatter version of Matt Damon?
No, I meant the writer of the.
Oh, I don't know.
It wasn't Daniel Radcliffe.
No, that's no.
Horns.
Horns, yes.
Okay. Cool.
No, Antlers is about, it's a small town, and I believe like in Minnesota or something, and there's a kid who his family seems normal, and then the shit starts happening because they're getting poor and there's nothing to eat. And he starts going to school, and everybody's like, well, you know what, where's your family at? And it turns out like his dad is locked in the attic because he tells him to keep him locked up there, and he keeps bringing him like different animals to eat, and his brother's with him. I don't know. It is good fucking movie. Good fucking movie.
Hell yeah.
But,
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I like how you compared it to Ravenous, because according to the original legends of a Wendigo is created whenever a human resorts to cannibalism to survive. And in the past, this occurred more often when Indians and settlers found themselves stranded in the bitter snows and ice of the North Woods. And sometimes they would be stranded for days, and any survivors might have felt compelled to cannibalize the dead who survived. And other versions of the legend cite that humans who displayed extreme greed, gluttony, and excess might also be possessed by a Wendigo. And so those stories kind of served as a method of encouraging cooperation and moderation amongst early settlers.
Something else you might not know about a Wendigo is they can turn into a level 5 hurricane. It's true.
Wow. There you go.
What would be the criteria for that?
That Wendigo.
What's if a Wendigo eats avocado toast, apparently he turns into a tomato.
Oh my, a potato?
A potato.
A potato.
I kind of like the idea of the fact that Bogarts, Eagles, and like Wendigo, in certain parts of this, they're like, you're not possessed by the spirit, you become it. So like it's the creation, like you can become this thing in the same way that you can become a werewolf. That's a really neat idea, and I think a lot of the supernatural components of a lot of that was that mentoring, was that, hey, this is a what is it, the tragic tale, or the, what do they call that when it's
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Story. It's not a warning story.
But it's kind of like the same way we talk about certain things from olden days being added into, like, say, things like the Bible. When they said don't eat pork, it was an unclean animal. Yeah. Well, that was about the idea that you could get like all these different diseases if you didn't cook it right. So they just said, hey, let's make this big story up about it, so everybody just leaves it alone and we don't get people dying from it. That the Wendigo was actually a story started going, hey, don't eat your fellow dude.
Yeah.
And there's a story that says there's only one way to kill a Wendigo. And once you wound it, you take its heart and shatter it, lock it into a box, and then bury it in a cemetery, in a church cemetery. And that's how you kill it.
Oh, wow.
And there are parts of that in the movie Antler.
That's all. I wasn't familiar with the way that you destroy a Wendigo.
I was not either.
I think for me, like, normally the stories of Wendigo are like someone else gets it. Like it just it follows, or it's like a, you know what I mean? Like it's that kind of thing.
What do you mean it follows?
He's referencing the movie It Follows, that it's a disease that goes from one person to the next person to the next
Well, it's
person.
not like a virus. It's not a zombie.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, but there is a psychosis, and there's been documented cases for several hundred years now called Wendigo psychosis, where people start suffering from the fear of becoming a cannibal or becoming a Wendigo.
Yeah.
You go there mentally?
Yes, and the initial symptoms are poor appetite, nausea, and vomiting, but then the individual develops a delusion of being transformed into a Wendigo monster, and they increasingly see others around them as being edible, but also have an exaggerated fear of becoming cannibals. And they start, like, to begin with, they were treated as if they were possessed, but the people, like, begin to threaten those around them, act violently and antisocially. And in the 1600s, when someone started displaying these symptoms, they typically were immediately executed.
Oh, shit.
Stop moving.
Okay.
But like there's one case from like the late 1870s where it was like a large family that was starving and they were off by themselves, but like the eldest son was the first to die of starvation, but then the father starts succumbing to this Wendigo psychosis after his son dies.
I heard also that you can kill a Wendigo with fire, but that's only in a very weakened state. And even if you kill it, the spirit has to go somewhere else. Like it remains behind. And I think its heart is surrounded by a layer of ice, so to speak. It's some kind of traditional story like that. I don't know.
Well, that would when you were talking earlier about shattering the heart, that would make sense if there was like an ice around its heart. Because a heart would just, you try to shatter it and it'd go.
Yeah, it would just splatter.
It would just fart.
Yeah, it's basically hearts are whoopee cushions for the soul.
The telltale heart fart.
Heart fart.
Okay, guys. Well, I've got to wrap up this section. I would love to talk more about it. Just pressed for time this morning. Anything else you guys wanted to mention about it?
No. I'd like you to be possessed with a Wendigo that makes you not fidget and sit still.
I would love for that to be the case too.
It is said to invoke feelings of insatiable greed and hunger, the desire to cannibalize other humans, as well as the propensity to commit murder, and those that fall under its influence. Fuck you, Matt.
Well,
so saith the Lord.
Only other thing I wanted to mention is that to this day, the places with the most reported recent sightings of Wendigos is typically in northern Minnesota and all over different parts of Canada.
Hell yeah.
Canada.
Yeah, I've heard a lot. It's more northeast, but Tennessee, I guess I hadn't heard as much about that. But there's some strange things up in them Appalachians.
Yes, sir. Who said Tennessee?
I didn't say Tennessee. I said Minnesota.
I heard Tennessee.
I think a Wendigo could slaughter a werewolf.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I got to run. As always, stay rotten.
Stay rotten.
Stay rotten.
Join us next time for another episode of Rotten Mournings.